The forest falls silent. A shadow moves. The air sharpens. Then, chaos. A wild boar charges through the brush, tusks gleaming like curved daggers. In that instant, the hunter and the hunted collide in a battle as old as time. Tonight, we're not just telling a story of survival, we're stepping into the frontline war against invasive species that are rewriting the balance of nature. From the dense woodlands of Arkansas to the burning savannas of Africa, from rivers haunted by monitor lizards to islands ruled by Komodo dragons, this is a saga of man versus beast, conservation versus chaos. If your heart can take it, stay locked in. If not, look away now. The boar invasion. It begins in America's heartland. Arkansas. Once upon a time, in the 1970s, there were just 5,000 wild boars roaming the state. A nuisance, but nothing unmanageable. Fast forward to 2023, the population explodes to over 1 million. That's a 20-fold surge. Farmers call them land wreckers. Scientists call them an ecological nightmare. Hunters? They just call them the enemy. Milky Way scene, the hunt. The night is still. I wait, crouched low. Suddenly, a rustle. A shadow darts. My rifle cracks, the lead boar drops instantly. The herd scatters like bullets. I pivot, fire again. Another one falls, but the faster ones vanish into the dark. The dogs leap ahead, noses to the ground. One pins a young boar against a fallen log. Another beast bolts through the trees, tusks flashing. I steady my scope, breathe slow, squeeze the trigger. 3 shots. It finally collapses. Every hunt feels like a war. And it is. A war for crops. For safety. For survival. Skull the cost of inaction. Boars tear through farmland, destroy habitats, trample gardens, and even kill livestock. In some states, damages top $2.5 billion annually. Grandpa's once lush garden now lies in ruins, an echo of what countless families face. This is not sport. It's defense. Shielding our lands from ruin. The monitor lizard threat. Shift continents. To the sweltering tropics. Here, under blistering sun and pulsing jungle, stalks another enemy, the monitor lizard. Some stretch up to 10 feet, with claws that slice like razors and tongues flicking like sonar. Once revered as ancient guardians, they are now invaders, bold, fearless, and growing in number. Eyes encounters. They raid chicken coops. Rip open gardens. Terrorize parks. Pets vanish overnight, their shredded collars the only sign left. Imagine this, you're walking home, arms full of groceries, when a shadow slides across your path. A monitor lizard, bigger than a dog, head tilting, claws clicking on asphalt. One wrong move, and it lunges. Fire control measures. Hunters move in groups of 4. Always in dry seasons, to avoid breeding times. Every strike must be deliberate. No wasted shots. A small caliber rifle. Or a precise shotgun. Aim carefully, miss, and its fury is unleashed. Each kill is logged, size, weight, location. Because this isn't just hunting. It's conservation. Safari's deadliest clashes. From invasive battles to ancient kings of the wild. Africa. Here, every step is a gamble. Lions stalk the tall grass. Elephants roam with the strength to flatten steel. Buffalo thunder with horns sharp enough to pierce bone. And yet, the greatest danger is not them, it's us. Lions. Once 450,000 strong in 1955, lions now number fewer than 200,000. Poaching for bones and skins fuels a black market where bones sell for $1,000 per pound. Tribes once revered them. Now, greed slaughters them. If you face one, don't run. Lock eyes. Stand firm. Back away slowly. One mistake, and you'll never outrun those jaws. Elephants. Gentle giants, until rage takes them. Over 100 vehicles smashed yearly in Botswana alone, costing over $1.2 million. Imagine a wall of muscle charging, tusks lowered. There's no negotiation. Buffalo, the Black Death. Weighing 2,000 pounds, thundering at 35 miles per hour. Hunters call them the Black Death for a reason. You smell them before you see them. If they charge, don't run. Drop a jacket, confuse their poor vision, and pray it's enough. These aren't just beasts. They are titans. And every encounter is a razor's edge between awe and annihilation. Coyote crisis in Montana. North America again. Montana. In 2010, 5,200 coyotes stormed farms in 1 year. They crippled 11,000 cows, killed 840 donkeys, and caused $25 million in damages. Ranchers called it war. Eagles as weapons. Montana unleashed a sky army. Golden eagles, trained under strict 2-year permits, unleashed at 80 miles per hour, crushing coyotes with talons gripping 400 psi. Over 1,000 coyotes fall annually. But laws are tight. Abuse the permit, and it's a $50,000 fine and 5 years behind bars. Because balance matters. Even in war. The Dragon Isles of Indonesia. And then, the deadliest of all. Indonesia. On the Isles of Komodo, Rinca, and Flores, a dinosaur still walks, the Komodo dragon. Up to 11 feet long, 160 pounds of armored muscle, and a bite that rots flesh. Only 3,200 remain. Protected, yet feared. They kill goats, deer, even humans. Farmers lose over $5 million annually. Hunters track them carefully, rifles chambered, bait laid. Last year, 850 were culled, easing farm losses but sparking global outrage. It is a paradox. To save humans, we must sometimes hunt legends. Finale, the eternal struggle. From the forests of Arkansas to the dragon-ruled islands, from coyotes on the plains to lions on the savanna, this is the eternal clash. Not man against nature, but man forced to restore balance when nature spirals out of control. Every hunt, every patrol, every conservation law is a page in this story. But here's the truth, the wild will always test us. Sometimes, it will break us. But it will also remind us of who we are, fragile, daring, survivors. The battle isn't over. Not today. Not ever. If this journey shook you, hit like. Share it so more eyes see the truth. Comment below, which beast would you face? And which one would you run from? Subscribe now, for more untamed sagas, more battles for balance, and more heart-pounding encounters with the wild. Because out here, survival is never guaranteed. Purpose. Not for trophies, but for survival, for balance, for the future of the land itself. The war against the wild boar is unending. But humanity does not yield. The invasion begins. Across the world, one beast rises as both a marvel of nature and a nightmare for mankind. The wild boar. Muscular. Intelligent. Relentless. With tusks sharp enough to pierce bone and bodies weighing over 300 pounds, they are not just animals, they are a force of destruction. From the rolling fields of Arkansas, to the dragon-haunted islands of Indonesia, to the swamps of Texas and the farms of France, wild boars wage an endless war. They devour crops, bankrupt farmers, spread deadly diseases, and tear apart ecosystems. This is no ordinary hunt. This is survival. Arkansas, the first strike. In Arkansas, the war is personal. Each April and May, hunters gather in Jasper for the state's annual hunting festival. It's not just sport. It's survival. Here, wild boars multiply at alarming rates, producing litters of up to 12 piglets twice a year. Without control, their population doubles every season. Farmers watch helplessly as acres of corn and soybeans vanish overnight. One sounder of boars can wipe out an entire year's harvest in hours. And the cost? Over $1.5 billion in damages annually across the U.S. But today, the hunters fight back. Aerial assault, the helicopter hunts of Queensland. In Queensland, Australia, the problem takes on a different scale. Herds of feral boars, numbering in the hundreds of thousands, sweep across farmland like living storms. Fences shatter. Fields collapse. Livestock mutilated. The government calls in specialists, and sometimes, the fight takes to the skies. From above, hunters track boars zigzagging below. Each shot is not just a kill, but a promise to farmers whose livelihoods depend on victory. The air grows thick with tension as sharpshooters lean from open doors, pulling triggers with deadly precision. This is not sport. This is war. Into the forest shadows. But hunting from the skies is only part of the story. Deep in the forests of Europe, wild boars rule like ghosts. They move silently, slipping between trees, their tusks glinting like daggers in the half-light. Here, hunters like Tony, veterans of countless battles, stalk silently. Every crunch of a leaf, every shadow in the undergrowth could mean a sudden charge. When the beast erupts, it's a blur of muscle and rage. One wrong move, and the hunter becomes the hunted. The swamps of Texas. In Texas, the war takes place in a world unlike any other. Murky waters. Tangled reeds. Swamps that swallow men whole. Here, wild boars thrive. Hordes numbering in the millions, feeding relentlessly. Hunters wade chest-deep in mud, rifles raised above their heads. Every step risks disaster, venomous snakes coil below, alligators lurk nearby, and yet, the true danger comes in the form of a charging 250-pound boar with nothing to lose. But the hunters push forward. Every shot fired in the swamp is a stand. A vow to farmers. A vow to protect the land. The European siege. Across Europe, wild boars are not just pests. They are invaders. In France, Italy, Germany, reports flood in of boars storming vineyards, destroying wheat fields, even crashing into cities at night. For farmers, this is a siege. For hunters, it is a duty. Armed with thermal scopes, they track the glowing silhouettes of the beasts in the dead of night. Each pull of the trigger is precise, merciless, and necessary. Yet for every fallen boar, more emerge. Their numbers, once controlled, now swell beyond measure. The war feels endless. Oklahoma's boar nightmare. In Oklahoma, the numbers are staggering. Between 600,000 and 1.5 million wild boars tear through the state. 70 out of 77 counties report infestations. Losses exceed $7 million annually. Traps, poisons, and fences fail. The only true weapon? Grit, determination, and rifles in the hands of men who refuse to surrender their land. Hunters crawl through muddy forests, ambush from ridges, and intercept herds in the dead of night. But even with every kill, they know, this is only the beginning. A global war. From Arkansas to Queensland, from Europe's vineyards to Texas swamps, the story repeats. The wild boar, cunning and powerful, refuses to yield. For the hunters, this is not just about trophies. This is about protecting homes. Safeguarding harvests. Preserving balance in nature itself. Each chapter of this war is written in mud, blood, and fire. And it is far from over. The final stand. So what happens next? The numbers rise. The battles grow fiercer. And the hunters, they sharpen their blades, clean their rifles, and prepare for tomorrow. Because tomorrow, the boars will come again. And tomorrow, the hunters will answer. Call to action. You've witnessed the fury. You've seen the courage. Now, it's your turn. Will you join the hunt? Comment below. Whose shot impressed you most? Was it Tony in Europe? Finn in Queensland? Or the swamp warriors of Texas? Like, subscribe, and share this saga. Because the battle against the wild boar is not just a hunt, it's a war. And it has only just begun.